Hi guys, welcome back. I suppose you all saw this coming long before I did, but Odin kept stepping up over time, and now it's totally to the point where he's like, I'm your patron. Loki will still be around because Loki, but I've shifted completely over at this point to Odin. The channel will still be here, don't worry, the channel will still be here, and we'll certainly still talk about Loki because he's not about to be forgotten. But it's been a thing coming over time where Odin was smart enough that if he would have just tried to grab me, it would have never worked, and I would have never, consented to work with him. But he's taken a couple years and he's built up trust with me, and he's like, well, you're going to work with me. And today we have the serious discussion of, do I know what this means? And we did some bibliomancy, and I double and triple and quadruple checked everything. And it's the right time to make the transition. Had he tried when I was younger, it would have ended in disaster. Now I know why he waited as long as he did. I needed some life experience. I needed to learn some lessons before, I could work with him as my main deity. And I don't know, it's too early. Don't ask me if I'm like changing the channel name or not yet. I don't know. I don't know what to do with the tags or anything, but I feel a lot calmer now. I don't feel all that nervous energy because the transition isn't coming, it's here. And he gave me a forever to transition into it. And the funny thing is, I think I knew it was coming. I think I knew it was coming, and I didn't want to see it coming because I didn't want all the added responsibility of serving Odin. Loki is tough. Loki is tough as nails, and Loki can make you cry, but Odin is even tougher. Yet Odin will, when he feels you've earned it or you need it, he will give you largesse. Like today, it has been about a month since I've had actual beef. He was like, go out, get 2 burgers. I said, yeah, but we're trying to. And he said, no, you go ahead, you go out. And those were like the best burgers. They weren't great burgers, like great quality burgers, but I haven't had beef in a month, so that was good. And it will be a thing of developing trust as we go along. Because I know a lot of people start serving Odin and then become embittered because whatever happens. It's a thing of you have to kind of sacrifice your free will if you're going to serve Odin or serve Loki. They're the kind of gods where Loki's pretty loose on the reins at times, but at the end of the day, you're still not going to go off and do absolutely everything you want. And Odin is the same way. He can be very permissive and lenient at times, but then when it's time for hard lesson, you're going to get hard lesson time. He knows I have the health issues. He knows I'm tired. He knows I could sleep literally 18 hours a day, but he will be the one nipping at my heels saying, you're the only one here. You gotta still do your chores. I know this is hard, but you gotta do chores. You gotta stay on top of this stuff. You gotta feed yourself. You gotta get up. You got a channel to run. He's the one that nips at my heels and makes sure I keep going. So it's a celebration day. So, he was like, yeah, you can go get this beef because it's the cheapest option for me in this area. For me to go out and buy burgers like at the Dollar General would be more. And then you have the added cost of cooking them in your house. So it was like actually cheaper to go buy them. So, and it's like 2 half-pound burgers. It's like a pound of beef. I'll be okay for a few more weeks. Yeah, and that was good. And they can disappear in nothing flat too, because I do love my beef. If I could have a magical cow that I could just eat every day, I would. That would be all I would eat. Um, I feel this feeling of pride back there. And it's just a thing of, he had to get me to the point where I trusted him not to abandon me and where I trusted him to have my best interest at heart. Because there are a lot of people that claim to serve Odin and yet they put out this real bitter advice about him. And it's like, well, either you trust your patron with your life or you don't. To me, there's no middle ground. I guess you guys have kind of figured that out. You either trust your patron with your life or you don't. If you're saying embittered things, yeah, it could be because you're going through a rough time, but it's also, it sends a mixed signal to other people of, hey, this is my patron, look at me, this is my patron, but I'm really bitter and mad because of all the stuff I've gone through. So, it's an adjustment. I'm happy though. I have been having some health issues lately, and I think it was just because I was making the transition. As I'm transitioning more fully into Odin, my health seems to be picking up. I was really sick this morning. I went and I laid down and I was talking to him and, trying to do like bibliomancy and that and just trying to lay there and relax and just discussing things. And it's like within a couple hours, I at least get good enough to get up and do whatever I have to do. Like this was to go out and get the burger to actually get some meat in me. So it's gonna be a transition period. So if I look really calm today and I look really erratic tomorrow, that's gonna be perfectly normal. Hopefully it's going to be a smooth transition. Loki isn't throwing any fits. In fact, Loki's relieved because now Loki gets to be Playmate 24/7. He's done teaching that I know of. He's done teaching the big lessons. He's done having to be the taskmaster. He's done having to be the one to push me to learn the hard stuff. That's all Odin's job now. And Odin wanted to make sure to get me in, and maybe Tyr showed up just to oversee the transition since he is a god of O's. And I keep asking Odin, I said, is there, because this has been going on like the last couple days, I said, is there anything I have to say? Is there anything I have to do? I'm not getting anything. He says, I'll trust you on your word. But I think that's why he had Tyr here, because if you are bonding with a god and making promises, and Tyr even remotely hears about these promises and you go back on them, your life's not going to be worth living because it's literally what he's the god of keep making people keep their oaths. That the Norse gods have a god that makes people keep their oaths shows you what they think of human nature, and that's probably all we need to say about it. But and he does somebody pointed out back there, he does watch the other gods as well, because it's in the nature of everyone, divine or human or animal or anything else. We mean the best, we do, but sometimes we're just like, I really don't feel like doing the thing I said I would, but Tyr will keep you on point. So I'm happy. And this is actually his favorite cap. This is Odin's favorite cap because this was the one that donated to the Wolf Sanctuary. So he's happy I'm wearing that. And it's going to be a transition period. But he said, stuff's going to get better for me. It's not going to be as hard now. And he says, he both admires it and is vexed by it. He says, 95% of your problem with this transition is that you have to fight me every step of the way. It was like, I think I told you guys, I don't know if I put that recording out, like, feeling like a wolf on a catch pole. Like, Odin had a catch pole looped around my neck, and I was just snarling and biting the pole. He loves wolves. That's not going to bother him in the least. I can fight until I get tired, and then he'll deal with it. But he's being really good about it. He's nowhere as bad as people make him sound. If you're not going to fight him every step of the way and make an issue out of stuff, he's a lot easier to work with. It's just kind of like he does have that very military vibe with me a lot. It's like if you can take commands and follow orders, you're going to be fine. You can ask questions. Sometimes he's not going to answer you, but you can ask questions. You can say, okay, I'll do this, but could you tell me why? He either will tell you or not. But, he will push you to be your best. He won't let me get away with, I had a stroke, I have learning disability, which I do, I have both. He won't let me get away with that. He's like, God damn it, you're going to study your runes. I don't care if it takes 3,000 years, you're going to learn this. And it's useful to him. And the same thing with learning about the gods and doing my research and studying heathenry. He's like, I don't care how many times you have to read the same article, you're going to do it. So it's tough love. He's not going to let me sit there and cry and say, oh, I had a stroke and I have a learning disability and you guys have noticed I have nystagmus, so my eyes move back and forth, so I can sometimes get kind of, it's not real dyslexia, but sometimes every so often, especially if I'm tired, numbers and letters and everything jump around and everything, it's hard for me to read. He ain't letting any of that shit stop me. He's like, no, you're one of mine, and you have these challenges, but you're going to overcome them. So, they won't let us give up. And again, Loki's not going anywhere, guys. He will still be here, but his job is playmate. Though I notice he really gets very serious and gets very respectful when Odin's in control. It's like this whole other side of Loki. Like, he's still trying to be the key fox for me, but he's really paying attention, and the power has shifted. The wolf eats first. The wolf eats first. The wolf does everything first. It used to be Loki first. Now it's Odin first, which it should be. Sometimes Odin will probably let Loki eat first. I asked Odin, I said, what about all the statues and everything? He's like, it's fine to share. He says, no, you should honor everything Loki's done for you, keep everything up for Loki, still talk to Loki, still work with Loki on a daily basis. But Loki's kind of really relieved. I think he's been crying in joy. I couldn't figure out why they were all so sad. And they were also sad because I will take change two ways. Either I'll automatically adapt without a problem, or I'll break down and cry and run back the other way. Odin was smart. Odin got me to the point where he got me eating out of his hand and got me trusting him, and he showed me he wasn't going to break faith with me, and he was testing me. He wanted to see. He was like, are you going to be faithful, or if I keep tempting you, are you going to run away? And when I finally realized that there was a reason I kept going in circles, and I finally realized Odin wanted to see how bad I wanted it, well, then I didn't want to go in circles anymore. And now when I see pins on Pinterest of whatever, I'm like, that's nice. And I go back to looking for Viking recipes or something. So the channel is really not going to change that much, other than we will be talking about Odin a lot more, obviously. And Loki may jump in front in 5 minutes from now when all Loki. We'll still be doing fun stuff with Loki, like playing games and stuff. Odin may be on board for some of those too. He certainly likes the horror games. We usually play those and don't put them on the channel, but we've been playing a lot of horror games lately. And it's fun, and it has like combat elements, and he enjoys that, and we do that. So I don't know, but we'll see. But I think you all knew the transition was coming. And I know this doesn't mean, and I want you guys to hear me on this doesn't mean that now that I've accepted Odin as my patron and my main god, even though I know the word patron makes some heathens grind their teeth, it doesn't mean tomorrow I'm going to get a letter in the mail that said I have a $12 million settlement. It doesn't mean that I'm going to strike oil in my yard or something. It doesn't mean any of that, but it does mean I'll be taken care of. Odin looks after his own. So, I heard wow back here. So if you like what you see, like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you guys later. Bye-bye.